Well, it was a conversation that we had yesterday that is sparking this next conversation. We have 1 week to go until Overland Park selects its next mayor. And for those of us who are not Overland Park residents, I think the most intriguing question in this race that applies to the entire Kansas City Metro is whether or not Overland Park is interested in the Royals playing baseball at 119th and Null. Right? I think that kind of matters here. Right now, we think it's all about what do the Royals want and what is the state of Kansas willing to approve when it comes to a Star Bond district. But what do people in Overland Park want? Faris Farassati is running for mayor of Overland Park. He's a former council member in Overland Park as well. So, Faris, I have a simple question for you. Are you a proponent and a fan of the Royals playing Major League Baseball in Overland Park?
Good morning, Pete. Thank you very much for this chance. I have a simple answer for you. No, and not on my watch.
Okay. So how would you prevent that? If you win the mayor's race, what would you do to try to prevent the Royals from selecting Overland Park, if there's anything you can do at all? Because I'd be curious on that part of it as well.
Of course. So please let me explain why I'm against it. That's not just a decision that I made lightly. First of all, I sent you, I'm an evidence-based person. I sent you a number of studies which says any major stadium, any major professional sport venue increases crime rate by 8 to 11% in about 5 miles radius. This is well studied. Everybody knows it. It's not based on what I say or it's not based on what they say. People of Overland Park simply don't need that. They don't need the additional stress. They don't need the additional crime. And they don't need the additional traffic. And the area is not even prepared for it. So those are the main reasons that I oppose a stadium in Overland Park. We love Royals, and we also love flying. Does that mean we need an airplane in our back? The other problem we have is going to be a multi-$100 million tax incentive probably to get this thing done, either in the form of a TIF or in form of every 3-letter code that you are very well aware of what I'm talking about, CID, TDD. And all of these is going to come on the back of people of Overland Park or people of the state of Kansas for a private venue.
Well, hold on. Let me just ask you this, because
yes.
what proponents will say is that the Star Bonds do not increase the sales tax rate for anybody. It just takes the additional sales tax revenue that come from the project, and you get used to pay off the bond. Right. So, I'm just saying that's what proponents would say, and I would say that's a fair interpretation. But why do you disagree with that assessment?
So in the words of former council member Scott Hamblin, next time you got a paycheck, tear it apart, throw it out, and go home and tell your wife, "Oh, that's the money that we never had." See how is that going to work out for you? We collect taxes on our fiduciary duty in the government to put it back in the pocket of people and to use it for public amenities. Any loss of revenue is a loss of revenue. That's just the word around this. You have a city named Overland Park, which is over $300 million in debt for residential street improvement. That's why you get the chips here. You have a city which is $100 million, according to their own study, in debt for a storm water management. You can't afford these giveaways, either mandated by the state or what you would do to your own people.
Okay, so let's say you win next week. What do you do? How do you prevent the Royals from coming to Overland Park?
And that's a good question about the authorities of the mayor. I never want to tell the people of Overland Park that I single-handedly am going to stand in front of it. First of all, we're going to have a good understanding of where do people of Overland Park stand. We're going to put a questionnaire. We're going to ask them, instead of telling, people are going to have the chance to voice their opinion. People have never had a chance to voice their opinion in the matters of the city. Even in the budget, they don't have a chance. That's what I want to put a citizen advisory commission on the budget so they would see how their money is spent. We're going to put a legitimate question sent it to people and see how they react. And based on my study, over 95% don't want it. Okay, what can the mayor do? Mayor controls the agenda for city council. I will collect data. I'm a cancer scientist. I will collect the opinion of people in a legitimate way, not with some, public firm who is going to tilt the question this way and tilt the question that way. No. in a legitimate, scientifically straightforward, and a statistically valid way. And then based on that, which I guarantee you, it's going to be that, no, we don't want a stadium. I control the agenda for the city council. So I will bring the agenda up to reject that project. And then people of Overland Park will have the chance to see who on that council is going to be with them and who in that council is going to ignore their voice the same way that they have done during the last 10, 15 years with over 15 neighborhoods in Overland Park causing these issues that we have.
So do you think then that when you say you're against the Royals coming to Overland Park, is it more about the safety and the traffic, or is it more about the way the tax structure works around the star bonds, or is it both?
The number one is safe, because we in the government are in charge of quality of life for people. That's why anybody should be in government. Increase the quality of, not even keep it a city, increase the quality of life of the people. What I have heard from people is that their number one concern is safety, traffic, crime. But on the back of that, because, you know, that's what is in the face of the people every day. 86 nights a year, 25,000 people driving to Aspiria and back. Can you imagine that? 11% increase in burglary, theft, violent crimes. They don't want that. But there is a backstory to it, which a lot of money is going to go out of their pocket, and they don't like that. So the number one issue they have is what is going to affect their daily life. The number two issue they have, and it's on social media all over the place, that, oh my God, how much is this going to cost me now when I'm facing with all these raising costs? When my property taxes goes up 50% every 4 years and 6 months. In the last 7 years, the property taxes have gone up 70%. I am amazed that my opponent says, oh, the rate is the same. Of course, the devil is in the details. The rate is the same, but city keeps collecting extra property tax and taking it out of your paycheck, essentially.
Yeah.
We have the tools given to us by a state called revenue neutrality. We could cut the waste in this government and then freeze or reduce property taxes, but we never do that because, yes, the government needs to spend, and you know it, Pete.
Faris Farassati is running for Overland Park mayor. That election is in 1 week, and of course the Royals are central to the conversation. So why didn't you, because I get asked this a lot, why didn't you show up to two of the forums and debates that you had an opportunity to press your opponent on these issues and other issues that you disagree with him on? Why didn't you do that?
Beautiful question. I knew you would ask that, Pete. That's why I love you. So first of all, my opponent has not shown up in 5 debate chances. One by 41 Action News, one by Nick Haynes, that you know very well, 3 direct invitations by me, and 1 invitation, an independent invitation, is still pending for the end of this week. So 5 times he has not shown up for a debate. Pete, we need debates. We don't need forums when the questions are, oh, would you please tell me why do you think there is absolutely no problem with Overland Park government? And that the forum I didn't show up, but I don't want to name names, but that by that entity had a record and has a record of softball irrelevant questions. So I told them, okay, well, first of all,
are you talking about, let's just call it out. You talking about the Johnson County Post?
Yes.
Okay. Well, but here's the thing. If you're the underdog and you're the guy challenging the incumbent, I mean, you got to go anywhere and everywhere you can go and get your message out. So do you think in hindsight that was a missed opportunity?
If it was a missed opportunity, Pete, it wasn't a great opportunity to miss. And again, well, let me explain. I gave them 2 requests. Put a microphone there, let the people ask questions for half of the time. Just for half of the time, let people ask questions. Number 2 was that we will give you 4 questions to ask. None of them is going to be insulting. None of them is going to be inflammatory. And then you can ask 50, 100 questions after that. But these are the questions that need to be asked. And they, in my opinion, as much as they are good people, they are doing their job, they have a track record of asking irrelevant questions, which is almost act like an extension of the PR department of the city.
Yeah.
So that was the issue that I had with it.
Yeah, I understand, but you know as well as I do, you can frame an answer as you see fit. Let me ask you this, Faris.
Yes.
The apartments get a lot of attention in Overland Park. You and your opponents have different philosophies on that. If you're the mayor, what is the future for the apartment industry in Overland Park?
Okay. First, I'm going to give you a straightforward answer. To the best of my capacity, I will freeze rezoning to high-density apartments. And I said the term rezoning. If somebody buys a parcel and has zoning for apartments, go for it. No problem. But don't come to me and ask to rezone a golf course, to rezone a single-family neighborhood to 400 apartments on the top of 24 hours of storage units, number one. He can't do it because he's funded by the developers. Over half of the money in his account, in his gigantic campaign account, is coming from developers. There are developers who have got significant amounts of tax incentives and now donating a lot of money to his campaign. He can't do that. There is a conflict of interest. If there is one problem with this government, is the conflict of interest, which then embodies itself in the voice of people being ignored. 13 neighborhoods on my website, I have fought with them tooth and nail to keep a life-ruining project of going to those neighborhoods. In each and every one of those cases, my opponent voted against the neighborhood, including the ward that he was representing. He didn't even show up for them, Ranch Mart South. This is where we are. Nobody is trying to say Overland Park is a bad city. We love it. We love Overland Park. But I am like a doctor that is telling you, your cholesterol is high. If you continue like this, you're going to get a heart attack. If we continue with this over expenditure, $300 million of the budget becomes $460 million in 6 years, and I still can't pay my cops a competitive salary according to the city. I still have 22 officers short. We are saying this system of conflict of interest, developers funding politicians' campaign, politicians becoming very positive to their agenda against the people cannot continue. So if I'm the mayor, a rezoning to high density is going to come to an end. Again, I bring the legislation, I put it on the city council agenda, and then the truth is going to shine who is with the people and who is not with the people.
All right. Faris Farassati running for Overland Park mayor. Good luck next week. We appreciate your time, Faris.
I appreciate your informative program as always, and I thank you for your great job.
Thank you very much. Faris Farassati on KCMO, 913-408-7957. So I asked both Kurt Skoog, the current mayor, hey, do you like the Royals at 119th and Null? His answer, there are multiple sites the Royals could play baseball. I asked Faris Farassati, do you like the idea of the Royals playing in Overland Park? And he said, no, and not on my watch. Do with that information what you want ahead of next week, and let the chips fall where they may.